Hello, welcome to Oxford Heirlooms. In this video, we're going to be sewing the shoulder seams, but before we sew them, we have a center back pleat that we need to create. So let me unpin my pattern piece. Then I'm also going to temporarily, I'm going to take my two front pieces and set them out of the way. Let me continue to unpin my pattern piece. And then I'll set my pattern piece out of the way. Okay, now I have already marked up at the top the center, where the center top starts and where the center top pleat ends. Now, since I like to sew on this side, with my friction erasable pen in my drafting triangle, I'm going to draw a line, a straight line, for me to sew to create my pleat. Now, I've got blue thread in my machine. I've got it set for a straight stitch, and I'm going to come in, and at the very bottom of the pleat, I'm going to go in my little blue dot, and then I will tack it down by a couple of stitches. This particular pleat does not lend itself to tying an overhand knot on the inside. So I'm going to go forward and backward a couple of stitches just to tack it into place, and then I'll follow my line to the top of the neck, and then tack it down with a couple of stitches again. Let me clip my threads. Okay, now I need to go to the sewing machine, and this particular pleat needs to be opened up at the top. Let's see if I can get that open. And it needs to be basted into place up at the very top, and pressed open all the way along the pleat itself. So I'll be right back after I get that ironed. Okay, I've been to the ironing board and I have that pleat pressed open. Okay, now I'm going to, with a straight stitch and about a 1/8 inch seam allowance, I'm going to tack this pleat into place. Just right up at the neck edge. There we go. Clip my threads. Okay, now we will proceed to make two tiny little French seams up at the shoulders. Let me get my threads. There. Okay, so I'm going to pin the wrong sides together, and the first pass of my French seam will be at about 1/16 of an inch. Okay, now this one goes on this side. Now this shoulder seam is cut a little bit at a diagonal, so that means it has some bias stretch. So just to be careful, I'm going to pin my shoulder seam in place. Line it up at the shoulder and up at the neck. And then get the other side and pin it into place also. I didn't cut this one real straight, but it'll work. Okay, now I have to be careful to make sure that my pleats stay pointing in the right direction as I sew this first seam of the first pass of the French seam. So I'm going to sew it at about 1/16 of an inch, and then I'll go to the ironing board and press it to one side. Okay, that's one. And here's the second one. Okay, I got the first pass sewn on both shoulders, so let me go to the ironing board and press my seam to one side. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I've been to the ironing board and I pressed my seam to one side, and then I finger folded it for it to be flat. Now I'm going to sew at about 1/4 of an inch. Let me go back and forth to tack it into place. About a scant 1/4 of an inch to finish off this seam. And then I'll go to the ironing board and press my seams toward the back of the garment. Okay, so let me go to the ironing board and press my seams one more time to the back of the garment. Okay, so I have been to the ironing board and I pressed my little seams toward the back of the garment, and we have created a lovely little neck hole opening for our day gown. Okay, now the first thing we did was we created the center back pleat, which gives the baby a little bit of room along the back of the gown so it won't be tight across the back. And we have the front completed also. So in the next video, we will be sewing the neckband on around the neck. But in this video, we were creating the center back seam and doing the 2 shoulder seams, making tiny front seams. Thank you.